Thank you for joining the IMA video blog series. I'm Anastasia Lowenthal. Joining me today is Jerry Peck, the Director of Government Affairs for IMA.
Thanks, Anastasia.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Jerry, one of your duties for the IMA is to oversee the Manufacturers Environmental Group. Can you tell us a little bit about what that group does?
Yeah, it's really an effort to kind of share our knowledge in environmental issues, really take the lead on a lot of environmental regulations that are coming through. And so whether that's state or federal rules that are coming down the pike as the state makes changes, the feds make changes, or legislation that's coming through. And so we try to keep an eye on those things. And a lot of that is to also let companies know what's coming, but also we can influence those changes. So whether it's providing comments, providing feedback, testifying before committees, and we really rely on the expertise of the IMA members to kind of give us guidance and how we act going forward. And it's not just the regulations, but we also look at a lot of the sustainability and energy efficiency areas. And we've got a lot of expertise within the IMA membership. And so to be able to share that knowledge peer-to-peer, for a lot of companies who are working on things like zero waste or zero landfill or energy efficiency matters that are good, and you can kind of share that knowledge and work together. And so by putting those folks together and creating working groups and sharing a lot of that knowledge, it's really a benefit from member to member. And the other thing we do that's kind of unique at the IMA is we'll work with companies one-on-one individually. And so if a company says, hey, my Title V permit is coming up for renewal, or my FESOP, or I've got a question with the agency, we're happy to work directly, make that contact with the Illinois EPA or the governor's office, whoever it may be, and kind of walk them through the process and then help them. And so it's really great because we have this peer-to-peer service that it brings everybody together, but also we'll work with companies one-on-one to help them through the environmental landscape.
So let's talk about some of the issues that we're working on this year. So steelmakers and foundries have had some issues involving steel and iron slag. What are we doing to work with that?
It's been kind of a big concern, and obviously, the steel industry has really, had a lot of struggles where foreign competition and different issues, and so we really want to do everything we can to help them compete and, make American steel competitive, for the folks here in Illinois. But one of the issues we've dealt with, and it's really one of the great environmental success stories we've had, is that, steel and iron slag, the slag used to be considered a waste product. It was something that might be thrown away, and it's really, we found a way to reuse that, and it's become a co-product. It's become a value generator in the process. And so they use it now. This steel slag that in old days might have been considered a waste product, but it's used in construction, road bed, a replacement for aggregate, or a replacement for gravel. Well, our laws haven't necessarily kept up with that process, and so now we're saying this isn't a waste product, but it still can be classified that way under the Illinois EPA. And so they require companies to go get a beneficial use determination before they sell it. And so what we're saying is, let's change the regulations to say we don't need a beneficial use determination for any other product that we produce that's a valuable commodity that's produced in the production process. And so we've been working twofold on making changes to that. And one is going through legislation to make that change, to make that tweak for the regulations. But the other is working with the Illinois EPA and those relationships that we have with the agency to have them provide some kind of a letter of guidance or some strong guidance saying that this only becomes a waste product when you move to dispose it. But if you're using it as a valuable commodity, then it's not a waste product, and so you shouldn't fall under the beneficial use determination. So I hope that helps steel companies, and I hope that helps economic viability here in Illinois.
So for the last 3 years, the IMA has been the lead negotiator in the rewrite of the Illinois electronic waste recycling laws. Where are we in those efforts?
This has been kind of an interesting process because the Manufacturers Environmental Group has really been the tip of the spear, and so it's the guidance coming from the members and directly working. But what we have is an extended producer responsibility. So the law says you produce this material, you produce this product, and so we want you to take responsibility for managing its end of life, whether that's recycling or reuse or how that handles. And so this is specifically relating to electronics, and consumer electronics. Part of the problem, with the law is that it hasn't worked particularly well. They've expanded. It originally was 4 different categories. There's televisions and computers and printers and monitors, and now they've gone to 17 different categories. But also a big part of the problem with this is that the landscape has changed dramatically in electronics. So television sets have gotten much smaller. We're not using the big cathode ray tubes with the leaded glass. We have these thin flat panel monitors. But also manufacturers have really engineered a lot of the valuable components out, a lot of the precious metals and the commodities, and there's not as much value in the recycling process in the end. And so we have to really think this EPR and how to make it work well. And so what's happening now is we have a program based on weight-based goals. and we meet those very early in the year, and then funding runs out for the program. So what we're looking at is a complete rewrite of the law to revamp and to say, let's get rid of the goals and let's go to what we call a convenience standard. We'll take 100% of the material that comes through and recycle it and make sure we manage the end of life. And so it's a high priority of the manufacturers and the folks that, that we work with here at the IMA is they want to handle this material responsibility. They want to see sustainability in their products. And they want to see the end of life well managed. And I would say it's not only the OEMs that we have as members, but we also have recyclers as members. We have waste haulers, and all these folks are working together. But really excited. It's taken about 2 or 3 years. We've been working on a rewrite, really revamping the program. That legislation will be introduced this year, and we think it'll be about a year of lead time transitioning from the old program to the new program. But in the end, it's going to be a lot more sustainable. It's going to be a lot more convenient. It's going to be a better program for Illinois residents all along.
Wonderful. So Governor Rauner recently appointed you to serve on the Illinois Commission of Environmental Justice.
Yeah.
Congratulations
on
that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So what's the mission of this commission, and what are your goals as a representative of the manufacturing community?
It's really the Environmental Justice Commission was set up to be an advisory group for the state government, for the governor, for state agencies to give guidance to the state on environmental justice, policies and procedures. Also, the group is charged with analyzing state laws, so to look at state laws and regulations that are out there and how they pertain to environmental justice, how we can strengthen those, or what steps we should take. And also, a big important thing is develop a criteria for defining what an environmental justice community is. And so that's looking at what the criteria should be, looking around maybe a factory. Are they in a non-attainment area for PM 2.5 or ozone, or what kind of discharge they might have, or what kind of traffic, or there's a lot of different factors. And one of the things I want to be really careful about as a member of that commission is we want to be careful when we designate an area as an environmental justice community, because there might be a little bit of a stigma or maybe a scarlet letter that goes with that. And so we don't want to say, this is an area that's full of bad actors, or this is an area that you don't want to do business, or there's a disincentive. And so working really carefully with that commission to say, we want to make sure we have strong environmental standards. We want to make sure we're good partners as manufacturers in the community, but also we don't want to be overly punitive to do damage. But there's 24 members on this commission, all appointed by the governor, people from the environmental community and business and different groups. And it's kind of an honor to be part of this environmental group, and really looking forward to representing manufacturers and making sure we have a strong voice in these policies as they go forward.
So the Manufacturers and Environmental Group has been working on a new outreach tool to help with our members having compliance and regulatory issues.
Yeah, kind of excited. So one of the things that's along the lines of the video blog series, but we're looking at, over the years, Illinois is a big state. And so we've got members, 4,000 members spread all across the state. And it's hard necessarily to have meetings and bring folks out, but we've got so much great knowledge and information to share. And really what we're looking environmentally is, one of the things I've seen is there's kind of a mismatch. Some of the bigger companies have fantastic environmental engineers and professionals and a lot of expertise. But maybe some of the smaller, medium-sized and smaller companies don't necessarily have the staff and the resources. But we can share that information. We can, transfer that, and the experts can teach the people as they're coming in and learning. And so really what we want to create is an Environment 101, kind of a class or kind of a video blog that can sit there to say, teach us about these issues that are going forward. And so we're really excited. We've got our first 2 videos that are up and running now, and we're really looking for other companies. But one deals with what happens when your permit is up for review, and how do you handle getting through that review process, and really sharing knowledge for someone who's been through the process. And the other is kind of self-reporting or understanding when you need a permit. So I'm really excited. I think those will provide value to a lot of members, and they're there on the website when you need them and you have the questions. But also I'm looking forward to more of our companies looking forward to say, hey, I'm an expert in this issue, and let me share that knowledge. Or some of those companies come and saying, hey, I've got some questions. Is there someone out there who can kind of help or kind of guide me through this? And we can share that knowledge. It's really, again, that peer-to-peer model that we have going in the Manufacturers Environmental Group of sharing our expertise, and really excited that that's launched, and we'll continue to grow and put out more videos over the next year. Wonderful.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry.
Yeah.
So if we have some members who are interested in participating in the Manufacturers Environmental Group, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, it's great. The Manufacturers Environmental Group is open to all IMA members. So anybody that's an IMA member can join the Manufacturers Environmental Group, no extra cost. So it's part of your membership benefit. Come join. It's open to multiple people from the same company, and so if there's people at different facilities or multiple people have an interest in environmental issues, they can sign up and join. A lot of the things they're going to get is, I do regular calls with the group, send out a lot of regular emails, put together working groups on different issues. So we invite people to participate, but simply all they have to do is reach out and contact me. And so jpeck@ima-net.org, or my direct line is 217-953-4054. But we'll get them hooked into those communications, and then as we find out the interests and areas, they go get deeper and deeper and work with the companies. And again, it's the strength of the membership. We're a member-driven organization, but when we share that expertise and share that experience, we all get stronger. And so I'd encourage any company that has an interest to join us.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining the IMA Video Blog series, which is part of IMA's continued effort to advocate, promote, and strengthen the manufacturing sector in Illinois. Have a great day.